Well, hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is a little Zoom session that we have going with Jeff Meyer, Northwest Sinfonietta's artistic partner and conductor for our upcoming 8th and 9th of March concerts, and our composer in residence for that concert week, Quinn Mason. We are thrilled to be premiering his new Serenade for strings. And I'm Karen Chu, woo!
Right there.
Executive Director of Northwest Sinfonietta. Um, so I'm going to pass it over to Jeff. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you and Quinn have connected over the
Sure. I
years.
like literally just got this today. It's hot off the press. It's warm. So it's very exciting. Thanks for writing for us, Quinn. You and I were just chatting a little bit prior to the Zoom meeting about how we met. Do you want to tell a little bit about our relationship and how this commission came to be?
Yeah.
Dr. Meyer and I still call him Dr.
I
Meyer
know,
because
I know. We,
he
we
was
can
an
do it. We can
ASU
do
and
it
I met
right
him.
now publicly. We can make that switch to Jeff.
Okay, if you insist.
All
So
right, let's do
Jeff
it.
and I, Jeff and
Yes.
I first met um a little over 6 or 7 years ago. This would have been about 2018
Yeah.
when he was hosting a contest, a composition contest at ASU where he previously taught. And I entered that contest and I believe they had about five winners. They had one grand prize winner, who is Carlos Simon, who is now everywhere. And Jeff was kind enough to bestow upon me honorable mention in that contest. He got to know my work a little
Okay.
um, through that, and then we stayed in touch. And then several years later, I came to Phoenix to guest conduct the Musica Nova Orchestra in a new piece of mine. And Jeff was kind enough to attend my rehearsal, and it was there that we met in person.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if even back then you were having the idea for a future collaboration, but sometime in the future, Jeff and I touched base once again, and I believe he asked me what if I was available to write something, and if so, what I wanted to write. And
Mhm.
so it was really that we circled back to this Serenade for Strings project.
Yeah, and I'm curious. I mean, you've told me a little bit about it, but why a serenade? You've told me that something like this has been on your musical mind for many years. Can you give us a little background, a little insight into why a serenade and what a serenade might mean to you?
Absolutely. The classical music genre of serenade is one that boasts many masterworks. You got the Dvorak, you got the Tchaikovsky, you got the Elgar. And with my previous background as a string player, I used to be a cellist. I became acquainted with these pieces at such a young age. And as far back as about 2007, 2008, when I still played the cello, and when I was beginning to experiment with composition. I mean, one of the first genres of composition I experimented with was the string orchestra, and I began making some preliminary ideas for this string serenade, even way back then, even those decades back then, that made it into the piece that Northwest Symphonietta is going to play.
Oh, it's great. Well, and that's exactly why we paired it with Tchaikovsky's Serenade for Strings. So you're with one of your founding pieces in that way, I guess.
One of the founding fathers, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If you had to give the audience sort of like an insight, if they didn't know your work at all, and I'm sure many of them do because you are one of the most performed young composers that are out there right now. But let's assume they've never heard a piece of yours. Like in just a little nutshell, what kind of music are they going to be hearing?
I'm someone who really likes to write music that they believe in. Like I really channel something that's deep inside of me in order to create this music. And so a lot of my music comes off as very personal to me. And I find that when other people listen to it, when orchestras play it, when conductors conduct it, they somehow forge a connection to it. I always try my best to remain genuine in my music, to create the music that I enjoy creating. and hopefully others enjoy playing and listening to it. And I find that I'm able to easily connect to people that way. So a lot of my music is approachable from that angle. And, I like to say that a lot of people hear themselves in my music. They may not have
Mm.
met me. They might not have been familiar with my work, but they, hear something I've created and they can connect to it somehow. And I feel like my music does its job if it accomplishes that.
Yeah, I think that's really aptly said. I think people do connect with your music very strongly, and that's a real gift of yours.
I appreciate that.
Well, I'm so excited for this concert and to get to play your piece, Quinn, and bring it to our audiences. It's interesting how you connected your serenade with Tchaikovsky, and that we have the Tchaikovsky, but also that we're performing the Tchaikovsky actually as a side by side with members of the Tacoma Youth Symphony, and you talking about experiencing that music in your youth and how that has stayed with you and inspired you to what you're doing now is really meaningful. So excited to also to
They're
be
very. Oh, sorry, Grant. They're,
no, just excited to be giving that experience to these young players too.
yeah, they're very well could be little Quinn Masons in the orchestra.
You just never know who's in the orchestra playing, who's in the audience listening. The best we can do is do our jobs the most passionately we can and bring everything we can to it because, someone's life will be changed.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking time to have this little Zoom interview with us. And for all of you out there, looking forward to seeing you at our concerts on March 8th and 9th. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.